Here we are again, as promised, another fun-filled episode of the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. And you are here for more fun stuff. Aren't you lucky? I know you are. You look forward to this every week, don't you? Every Friday, 9 o'clock, they release another one. You got to have it set so you don't miss it. You don't want to see reruns. You got to be there at the time. Well, you can watch reruns if you want. You can watch them over and over again. You can spend your weekend watching every one of them. All the ones you've missed, they're still there. Well, here we are. Now, you hear that squeaking in the background. I don't know how well you can hear it here with this microphone. That's my compressor, and it's trying, and it hasn't been used in a while. It's a small portable compressor. The belts are loose, and I might have to run it any minute to turn it off if it actually... You hear it? It's trying, but I needed to turn it on because I need some air to show you something very, very fun. You hear it? It's struggling. Oh, there he goes. Okay. I alluded to this on one of the other episodes, and I ended it, and I was like, what are these fun things over here? Remember I showed you this? What are these? Well, they obviously look very, very comical. They almost look Toontown, don't they? Toontown. I'm gonna turn that off. I smell the belts burning. Next thing you know, we'll have the fire alarm going off. I just had to run and turn my compressor off. We were getting the smell of burnt rubber from the belts. Next thing you know, we'll set off the smoke detectors. Always fun. Well, I know they look very whimsical. They just say Disney. Doesn't this just say Disney when you look at that? I mean, they're big, they're heavy, colorful. They come in multiple colors. This one is red and yellow and blue. Oh, look, here's a green one. Green and blue. Different shades of green, also different shades of blue. And what do we have over here? Look at this guy. This is a red and a pink. Oh no, we knocked over the blue one. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. They're pretty versatile. Back on there. So, some of you might actually know what these are. I got them all tangled up. Look at this. I'm snared. I'm getting the microphone wire caught in it. You believe this? It's unbelievable. Put Mr. Microphone back on. We were talking about the red one. All right, this is another red one, a slightly different color arrangement than the other one. Now, what in the world does anybody know? Oh, we're losing everything. What in the world are these things? Do you know what they are? I just made a giant mess, that's for sure. Well, let me see if I can shove this back down here. Now, there's probably a certain way of shoving this back down here. And I'm not sure I know it. But this is the way this works. I know you're sitting on the edge of your seat and I'm caught again. Can you believe I'm caught again? The anticipation of knowing exactly what goes on here. And they close it with the cover there. Now, this has a good amount of weight to it. If I had to guess, I would say this weighs every bit of 20 pounds. Now, if it weighs less than 20 pounds, you'll have to excuse me for guesstimation, but it's heavy. I wouldn't want to walk around carrying this thing all day long. But this is part of a parade, believe it or not. And the guys walking along on the parade floats would take these things. Now, they didn't want to carry them all the time, so they would leave them on the parade float. And at certain periods in the songs, they would take it off the parade float, and they would be connected with this heavy hose with a quick connect, and we lost the microphone. They would connect it with a quick connect into the parade unit, which had to have had major size compressor tanks, because you can't hear compressors like you heard that compressor here. You can't hear them running when they're going by with a parade. So I can only guess that they had to have big compressed air tanks, maybe even CO2 tanks. I don't know. But these were plugged into the parade floats, and every so often during the songs at the queue, the different guys at the parade float would take one of these and they'd go over by the crowd and they would use them. Well, what did they do? Well, I might have enough air, I'm not sure, but we're going to try it. Let's see. All right. Let me connect it to my air hose. Now, as I recall, I remember that they would flop open this top and allow that to come down so that it was free of easing. And then if we have enough pressure, which we don't, and that's what it did. Now, it would be a little more dramatic because my poor compressor didn't get enough pressure before I had to turn it off. But they would hold it down like this, and they would shoot this, and this big stream would go flying out at the guests who were seated along the parade route. So they would not know what was coming, not expecting it. They would think maybe it's water or something of this nature would go flying out at the guests, and the ribbon would just keep recycling into the unit. The cage at the top, they would then close the cage and let it continue to run, and it would push all the ribbon up into the cage, as I tried to do at the beginning to start it out with, and this is where it was. Well, this was a parade at the Disney MGM Studios. I'm not sure if it was called Hollywood Studios at that time, but it was at the Studios Park. I don't think it lived on too long because can you imagine how many times they had to pump up those tanks with a lot of, because you had several of these on the floats. I mean, a bunch of guys at the same time hitting that air, and they obviously need a lot of air in order to shoot that ribbon out there. So it was a short-lived effect. They didn't continue to use them on the parades. But I thought it just told a story because of the mystique of the Disney excellence. Everybody knows how Disney does everything just so and dots the I's, everything's so wonderful. And they really do. But sometimes they have to do it a few times before they get all the bugs out of it and everything just right. And to me, this kind of told the story with that beautiful design of the whimsical Toontown look. And here you are shooting it, not really considering the fact that these dancers, who are usually slightly built, 110-pound, dancers, and they're having to hold these things and put the smile on their face and jiggle along and all shoot them out. And I'm sure some guests who were sitting on the side as that ribbon came flying would grab the ribbon instinctively. You have some kids who grab the ribbon. Now they got to fight with them to get the ribbon back and get it in there. So I'm not sure how long they lasted, but they were from the parade at the Disney MGM Studios, and they made their way over here to Randyland, and there are several of them. My goodness, here's one, there's another one over there, another one over there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know there's at least a half a dozen of them here. I don't know how many they made. They might have made a dozen. They might have had extras on the thing. But I've got 6. I'm satisfied, and I know that you probably really enjoyed seeing that because it's funny. To me, that's fun. And that's what it's all about. When you go to the amusement park, you have fun. So when you see the parade dancer pull out this giant thing and he's trying to shoot something, next time you can say to yourself, I wonder how much that thing weighs and how much effort he's got to go through that. Because people don't realize the amount of effort that goes into anything you do, but you do it with the smile because it's fun. People don't want to know the realities behind the scene of what's involved with creating that fun for you. So I hope I didn't spoil an illusion there. But it's interesting. It's interesting and it's educational, and I think it brings a better appreciation to all the people who go anywhere and they see a show going on, whether it's a parade or whether it's an operation like mine on the boardwalk. It's a show. You're creating an experience for people, and that experience comes with a lot of effort behind the scene that people really never consider. And maybe it's only a 10-second little spot in a show, and it might have taken a really, really long time in order to get to that point. So something to consider, but I thought it was fun, and I wanted to bring it to you right here on the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye now.